Good morning. I'm Wally Fleming, and I've been invited to give this morning's daily encouragement. I recently read a marvelous dystopian novel called Station 11. It tells the story of a group of artists and musicians who travel around the Great Lakes in the aftermath of a global pandemic, putting on plays and concerts in various outposts of civilization. It's 20 years after the pandemic, a pandemic that destroyed most of the world's population. This rather eclectic group of artists travel from outpost to outpost in horse-drawn wagons. Emblazoned on the side of those wagons is this motto: survival is insufficient. If you're a Star Trek geek, you'll recognize that motto. It's a quote from one of the Star Trek Voyager episodes, Season 6, Episode 2. Throughout the novel, Station 11, it's repeated. Survival is insufficient. I think that's a marvelous motto for us to think about this morning, because life is not just about mere existence or survival. Life is to be lived joyfully, especially for Christians. Life is to have evidence of overflowing love. So I want to ask you during these difficult days, is there a sense of joy in your life? And is God's love overflowing in your life? I hope so. My favorite devotional book is My Utmost for His Highest by Oswald Chambers. It includes a series of talks he gave during the First World War. Yesterday, the talk from April 30th, 1917, was about 1 Corinthians 13, the love chapter. Oswald Chambers quotes the words of Paul, "Love suffers long and is kind." And he comments on those words by saying, the characteristic of love is spontaneity. Hasn't it been marvelous to see the spontaneous moments during the pandemic? I think the first one I noticed was on March 13th, when the people of Siena, Italy, in the evening hours went out on the balconies of their apartment buildings and began singing together. Beautiful expression of solidarity in the midst of a difficult time. We've seen many moments like that. Just a few days ago, the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds flew in formation over New York City in tribute to first-line workers. We've seen school teachers of our elementary students drive around our neighborhoods, honking the horns of their cars, expressing their love and concern for their students, whom they haven't seen for several weeks now. Even Rochester's iconic Donuts Delight shop made donuts with Dr. Fauci's likeness on them. Expression of spontaneous gratitude for his leadership during this time. You may think some of those things are silly. I think they're wonderful. These spontaneous expressions of love and gratitude and concern. I think Christians should express love and appreciation regularly. It should be natural and spontaneous for us. Chambers wrote this at the end of his devotional: the life of God manifests itself in spontaneous ways because the springs of love are in the Holy Spirit. So today, step out onto your balcony and start singing.